HQ, and today we're going to give you a demonstration and a tutorial about using our custom and advanced curing function for the Chrome extension builder for Bubble. So as shown in previous tutorials, you can build Google Chrome extensions without code using our extension and plugin and your Bubble application, and we've created some tutorials showcasing how to use the different features of our plugin, for example, opening specific tabs, creating bookmarks, getting the current URL, getting the highlighted text, and much more. And today we want to show you a bit of an advanced feature that might be really helpful for some of you. That was requested by one of our customers, and we added that. And yeah, so what we added is the ability to get any kind of information from the current tab the user is on by defining a custom query selector and a specific value. So what does that mean? Even though this is a no-code tutorial, there's something we have to take a look at. This is in German, let's do that in English. But what we have is we added basically this JavaScript syntax, okay, query selector, which means you can select any kind of thing on a page, okay? So you can select anything that matches this ID. You can match the second div. You can match a class, or you can even match exactly specific things like this div and the inputs value or the input with the name login. Okay, so why does that help? So let's say I just opened here a Wikipedia page, and you have some kind of Chrome extension, or you want to build something where you always want to grab specific information from a specific kind of page. So let's say, I don't know, you have a CMS and you want users to click on your extension, and automatically all the data from the current active tab is taken and then processed in your Bubble application. Obviously, you have to know before what things off the current page you want to get, and for some use cases our simple get a text via its ID or via its class won't always work, and you want to get more specific. Obviously you have to know the structure of the page beforehand, but with our new custom query selector tool you can really get literally everything off the page. So how does that work? The prerequisite is that you watch some of our Chrome extension tutorials, so I'm just going to assume you know what we're doing here. I have the plugin installed here. I'm just going to add a simple button, and this button will say get value, okay? Doesn't actually matter. And then let's have a text here which will have our return value. Okay, let's make that a bit bigger, maybe center that, okay, like this, make it bold, and this will just be our Chrome extensions return text, okay? All right, so really simple. Let's also click on get value and say, okay, when this is pressed, we wanna go to element actions, and you see all the actions you have access to with the Chrome extension plugin. And the last one is the one we need, the bit more advanced one, the custom query, okay? And you can already see, all right, we have a selector and we have a property. So what does that mean? The selector is basically telling the plugin or the Chrome extension, okay, so what do I want to search for? From where do I want to get the data? From a specific ID, from a class, from an input, from a div, and so on and so forth. And we're going to take a look at a few examples in a second. And this is what I showed you here. So this would be a selector, a class, this would be a selector, this would be a selector, and so on and so forth. So what do you want to find on this page and extract? And then the property. In most cases, you want to return the value of something, okay? But you might also want to return other kinds of properties because there's more than one property than value. So let's take a look at our first example. I'm going to go ahead and let's say you have a Chrome extension where you always want to extract something in Wikipedia, okay? Whatever it is, we're going to take a look at that in a second. So let's just start off with, we want to extract data from the search bar here on top. So how do we find out what the query selector for this is? Well, I just right click on this and click inspect if you're in Chrome, and you can see the code for this input. And now what we can do, for example, we can just copy all of this here. Okay, so let's copy this class thing, okay? And let's go back to our Bubble app, and we're gonna say, all right, so input, the selector will be an input. So we take a look at this example again here. We have an input, and then we specify exactly, we wanna have the input with the name login. Same thing we're doing here, we wanna have an input, and the input's class should match this vector search box input, whatever that means. Just be sure to switch out these double quotation marks to single ones. That's just the way the the structure of the plugin works, okay? And you're good to go. We're now grabbing the value of exactly this input when it's found, okay? So let's try that out. So I'm just gonna enter here hello world, okay? We're gonna go ahead, demo extension, wait until it's loaded. And if we grab the data now, so let's wait. Let's click on get value, okay? You can see we returned hello world. And if I change that here to hello bubble, okay? Same thing, hello bubble. So works perfectly fine. Let's take a look at another example. Let's say you also want to always grab the first item here in this contents box, which is always the same structure on a Wikipedia article. So let's take a look at this first one here, history. And this is wrapped into a span with this class. So this might work. Let's take a look at that. So let's again say, all right, span, and let's copy this class here, okay? Just take a look at the structure. If the structure is different, yep, that looks okay. And let's do that as well. So we're gonna write span, we're gonna add the square bracket, and inside we're gonna add the class, change the quotation marks, and let's try that again. Small thing I forgot here, this won't actually work. In this case, we have to change the property. If you're advanced in JavaScript, you might know that already, but for this span text, we can't get the value because it doesn't have a value. What we want to get the dot inner HTML, because the inner HTML will be inside the span, okay, in this case history. So let's try that now. Just to get the value, and you can see we got history perfectly fine. And this will now, the great thing is this will now work for all kinds of Wikipedia pages because the structure is always the same. Let's take a look at the article for, I don't know, servers, okay? We open the Chrome extension again. Let's get the value again, okay? It's the same value, it's history. Let's do something completely different, maybe peer-to-peer. Yeah, okay, let's use client server model. Okay, this is a different one. Should be client and server role. This should be returned, get value, and you can see client and server role. So we define the structure to always get the first item here in this contents box. And you can do this for all kinds of things. And again, there's a lot of use cases for that. If you know how these things work, you will get along with this easily. Otherwise, just take a look at these documents here, at this documentation. And I don't think it's too hard. And knowing this might help a lot when you're building your Chrome extension. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you guys for the next tutorial. Bye.